internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So far, let's get right in today's video. The amount of dots we're about to connect in today's episode is going to be truly disturbing. I hope you guys are all prepared for this. Ripple and XRP are setting up for world domination. I know it sounds cliche, but folks, hear me out. The information I'm going to lay out in front of you, you just cannot disagree with. It is happening whether you like it or not. Some of you guys are going to be in for a rude awakening. We're going to go over two clips, Michael Barr, and also an individual from Ripple that has been working there for 6 years, Mr. Pat. But we're going to get into that in a minute. Remember Oliver Segovia. He made a comment 3 days ago saying how they were quiet in the United States for the past 3 years, but 2024, they're going to be making some announcements. And he finished his post off by saying, join us. They're having an event on February 7th, and there's a couple companies that I want you guys to look out for. Aiden and Plaid. And in today's episode, I'm going to connect everything together. I can't believe how people don't understand how big this is going to get. Like, look at the information we're going to go over here. In 2015, the Federal Reserve convened the Faster Payment Task Force, a 320-member group comprised of a broad range of industry participants, to identify and assess alternative approaches for implementing safe and instant payment capabilities in the United States. And guess what? 99% of you guys may know this, but the 1% may not. Ripple was elected to the Federal Reserve's Faster Payment Task Force Steering Committee and their task force. Okay, this is where things get very interesting. So here we have the first PDF that was released in 2017, so 2 years after them joining. So this is part one, and they mentioned Ripple here a couple times. But when we go to the part two, because this was the last one and they stopped publishing, listen to this part. Look at the proposals. There is a list of 16 companies and Ripple being one of them. And before I get further into the video, just understand how far Ripple has come. We're pretty much about to win completely against the SEC. And guess what? XRP is the only digital asset that has clarity. And that comment that I just made is going to go hand in hand by a clip by Michael Barr. And fast forward to 2023, guess what? The BIS Innovation Hub, we have Ripple, a part of their cross-border payments interoperability and extension task force. Wow, it gets even better. Because when we go to the US Faster Payments Council, and when we go to like their list of advisors, we have Volante Technologies, Ripple partner, ACI Worldwide, Ripple partner, and of course we have Ripple, Mr. Pat, which we're gonna play a video in a moment. Listen to what he says here. And we have Cross River also involved here. But like, this is been going on for so long. Because if we take a look at this article from 2014, Cross River was one of the first US banks to adopt Ripple's infrastructure. And if we go to 2023, Cross River is an early adopter of FedNow. How does that make sense? Oh, but wait, we also have Cross River and Plaid teaming up on real-time payments with FedNow. And the event that's taking place on the 7th, we're going to have Aiden and Plaid and Ripple. But do you see what I mean by they're all in this together? But just take a listen to what Pat says here.
What, in your view, is the benefit of efforts like ISO standards or FedNow? What is the type of feedback that the market is giving?
I think it's been kind of resoundingly positive. ISO 20022, which really allows for not only domestically, but if you think about cross-border, payments, it's the opportunity to have standards. And I think if you think of Web 1 and 2, it's intuitive now to send an email. You've got, your name, your domain, who you're sending it to, subject line, body. Now we can even do attachments. Like, we're working on that in, payments, blockchain, digital assets. And, one of these days we'll go, it's so intuitive, but we're in the process of doing that now. But I think it takes, folks like the ISO standards body, which, Ripple has been a huge proponent of and been involved with for a while. What's nice about building a brand new payment network, which RippleNet is you can actually have those standards inherent in the technology itself. And then, you can do some really smart things around risk compliance and ensure that you hit the ball out of the park there. Do some really smart things around risk compliance and ensure that you hit the ball out of the park there.
And ensure you hit the ball out of the park there. So a home run, ladies and gentlemen. But look, here we have Aiden. Aiden, among the first financial technology platforms certified by the Federal Reserve to utilize its instant payment infrastructure. Aiden builds direct connection to the Bank of England and faster payment services in record time. We've successfully connected to the Bank of England and the real-time payment rails faster payment service, and we did it in only 8 weeks. And that's the other thing where a lot of people don't understand. Implementing this technology, Ripple's technology can be implemented very quick, and that is very important for onboarding. So Aiden is with Bank of England. Remember this, Bank of England, a digital pound, a new form of money in households and businesses. This was published February of last year. And remember, this went massive because they came out and they mentioned Ripple under their Enable Private Sector Innovation, a joint project with Ripple demonstrating synchronized FX transactions in 2 different simulated RTGS systems. And then they even talked about R3 here as well. Long in the making, many will be in for a rude awakening. And look, we also have Plaid. Get access to the FedNow service via Plaid transfer. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. They're all in this together. And the biggest takeaway is Michael Barr, a statement that he made. It is so monumental and a lot of people don't understand it, but I'm going to break it down. You guys know Biden was nominated to be the Fed bank regulator, and he got it. He got it filled. And you guys all know he was a part of Ripple back in 2015. Michael Barr. We got a massive roster at Ripple that is just unbeatable and uncomparable to anything else. But listen to what he says here.
FedNow represents new rails by which payments can keep pace with today's businesses and consumers. The Federal Reserve has now made these rails available. Banks can build on this infrastructure to provide better services for households and businesses. It's hard to speak about payments innovation without mentioning the increased experimentation with new payments technologies, such as stablecoins and central bank digital currencies, happening in the private and public sectors, both in the United States and around the world. As this work proceeds, we must carefully weigh the benefits and risks of different uses of these new technologies. Stablecoins, as I have said in other remarks, need to be well regulated. When an asset is pegged to a government-issued currency, it's a form of private money. When that asset is also used as a means of payment and a store of value, it borrows the trust of the central bank. So the Federal Reserve has a strong interest in ensuring that any stablecoin offering operate within an appropriate federal prudential oversight framework, so they do not threaten financial stability or payment system integrity.
It has to be within regulated guardrails. And the biggest takeaway is there's a reason why XRP is regulated. When these stablecoins come into the real world on a massive scale, they're going to need interoperability, and they're going to need some sort of bridge currency to get into some of the corridors which they normally can't get into. And if financial institutions are going to be leveraging any digital asset, the first thing you got to be looking at is regulation. Is that asset regulated within different jurisdictions or even within their jurisdictions? Can this asset be compatible with different jurisdictions, right? That's where a lot of people get confused. They're wondering why hasn't the price of XRP gone up yet either. It's because XRP is not an asset for retail investors. XRP was designed around an institutional perspective. It's digital asset XRP, like I said, it wasn't meant for retail. It is an asset that is leveraged by financial institutions, hasn't been leveraged yet because it hasn't gone into full live production. You need to scale the system. We're talking trillions. We may sound like a broken record right now, but looking back on this video years from now, people are going to feel extremely stupid for missing out on this opportunity. You need depth in the market. The more depth, the more liquidity, the more stable that asset is, and the more safe that asset is. This is very important to understand. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why XRP is regulated. There's a reason why stablecoin regulation is coming out, because in order for these coins to interact with each other, they need to be regulated. They all need to have regulation on a level playing field. With that being said, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we'll be back with another video.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.